Hey, what's going on? My name is Nick Di Giugno at Told by Nick, and I'm a video content creator based in New York. Today, I'm going over 5 tips you can use in order to get better top-down video. Number 1 is limiting your camera's focus area to cover only your subject or product of interest. I personally set my camera to center focus when I'm showcasing a product, as it prevents the focus from hunting or grabbing onto other objects in the frame. If your camera has a solid autofocus system, keep it on continuous autofocus, so as you move your subject up and down, it stays sharp. Number 2 is spend time dressing your frame. What I mean by that is take your time decorating the perimeter of your video. A little goes a long way here, and paying attention to the balance of items from top to bottom and left to right is crucial. Ideally, you'll choose items that help support the story you're trying to tell, or that at least relate to your subject or primary product in some way. For example, if I'm filming a new pair of headphones, I might have some audio cables, a wireless mic or two, or even an old iPod along the perimeter. Number 3 is to dial in your lighting, and this, like most filmmaking and photography, is absolutely key. I use a soft, diffused top-down light to create the ambience and provide the bulk of the light necessary given the exposure settings on my camera, which we'll get to in the next tip. This light is typically set to a daylight temperature, something like 5400 Kelvin is what I prefer, and if you're on a budget or just want to keep your setup as minimal as possible, that's really all you need. But if you want to go a step further, you can add a light panel or a light tube just outside of your frame to give your subject some rim and help it pop off the background. I like to keep the intensity pretty low, flag or angle the source so it's primarily hitting the subject and not the table or the wall, and I prefer to keep the temperature of this light warmer. Something like 4300 Kelvin is what I typically go for. Alright, almost there. Tip number 4 is to shoot wide and fast. Assuming your setup is over your desk or table, you're likely not going to be able to get your camera too far above it. And this implies 2 things. 1, you need a wide enough lens to cover your shot, and 2, you need a fast or low aperture lens if you plan on getting any kind of subject-background separation, since your subject and background are naturally going to be pretty close to each other. My lens of choice is a full-frame 20mm 1.8, and if I'm shooting a single product, center frame top down, I'm pretty much always wide open. And going back to tip number 3, this is what I base my lighting off of, not the other way around. And alright, we made it. My final tip, and the icing on the cake to really clean up your top-down sequences, is to apply lens breathing compensation, if your camera and lens support it. This helps keep your composition consistent when cutting from frame to frame, and overall allows for a more polished look. If you are using a lens with noticeable focus breathing and your camera doesn't have a compensation mode, try not to raise and lower your subject or product too much while filming. And there it is, guys, 5 tips for better top-down shots. I hope you got some value out of it, and if you want to see more from me, follow @ToldByNick on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Peace out.